So what do you do in times of warfare? How do you fight? What is your greatest weapon? What an important question. I love James 4:7 tells us what to do in times of warfare. One of the places in the Bible that tells us what to do. James 4:7 says, submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. So the devil's coming after you. He's harassing you. You're in a time of warfare. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. Great. Okay. Submit to God. What does that mean? What does that look like? I'm always about, what does that mean? What does that actually practically look like? Because we all can have ideas of what does it mean to submit to God? I mean, yes, we can say, God, I submit to you. And that's super important, by the way. We want to actively just say, God, I submit to you. But there's more to it than that. Let's break that down. Submit to God. 1 John 4:10 says, God is love. So ultimately, what we're doing is we're submitting to love. We're submitting to God, who is love. So what does it look like then to submit to love? And that is a huge topic, and it looks different in each situation, but I kind of want to just throw some things out there that pretty much like wraps it up and explains it, how we fight with love, because love is your greatest weapon. Love is your greatest weapon of warfare. Think about that. Love is your greatest weapon of warfare. Love protects you. Love covers you. Love fights for you. Love actually shelters you from the enemy. So it's like, if I always say, like, if you want to see the devil manifest, go love. I mean, there's nothing he hates more than love. I've seen this. I've done this with different people in different situations throughout the years where I can see some kind of spirit manifesting, and I just move even more into love. And you just see that thing manifest because it hates love. And so love will expose the enemy, but it also, you move in love, it'll provoke the enemy, but the goal is to stay in love, and you're covered, sheltered, and protected in love, who, by the way, is God. When I say love, I'm saying God. When I'm saying God, I'm saying love. I mean, we should really get that worked in us in a deep way, but understanding who God is. What is the primary aspect of who he is, his nature? He is love. And so what does submitting to love in a real practical way look like? And Jesus really showed us. He showed us, and he told us. I mean, he showed us in the greatest way that it could ever be demonstrated, by the way, at the cross. I mean, there was no greater warfare. There was no greater act of submitting to love than at the cross that destroyed hell. It destroyed the works of Satan. So he demonstrated it many ways, but that really was the most powerful way he did that. But he also told us, I mean, he told us to do that. We give our lives, we love that way, but he broke it down for us even more. And I want to just read this. It's Matthew 5:43, and we're talking about warfare. Okay. How do you be sheltered in love, covered in love? Listen, let me say this. We're already sheltered and covered in love, but what we do is we move ourselves outside of that, meaning we're covered, we're sheltered in love. Who is God, right? He shelters us, he covers us. But by our words and by our actions, we come out of agreement with that. We come out of agreement with him by what we do and what we say. So it's important to stay in love, stay in him, stay in agreement with him, who is love, so that we're covered, we're protected, and we're sheltered. And it's not just a defensive posture, it's actually an offensive posture as well. So Matthew 5:43 says, you have heard it said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? Now, obviously, in this context, Jesus is talking about like looking like our Father. Like when you do this, when you move in love, when you forgive and you bless those who come to hurt you, you actually look like your Father. You look like love. This is what love does, okay? But again, there's a warfare aspect to it, because what can resist God? There is nothing that can resist love. Love is the most powerful weapon. It is the most powerful, it is the most powerful, amen. It is power. And so, but again, in this context, I'm just talking about warfare. For those of you who are going through things with situations, with people, it's big ways, small ways. Even if it's not through people and it's through circumstances, let's say your finances are under attack and you're just experiencing warfare in your finances. What does love look like? What does agreeing with love and moving in love look like in something like that? What does it look like? What does love do? Love isn't afraid. Love gives. So when there's, attack happening in your finances or warfare happening in your finances, do whatever you can to go and give what you have. It breaks warfare. It breaks the power of the enemy over your life. So what do you do in situations where people are doing something to intentionally hurt you? Forgive them, bless them. And listen, this isn't all about feelings. This isn't like, I feel like I forgive them or I don't feel angry. It's not about that. It's about what you choose to do. Your heart will catch up. The more that you agree with love, the more you submit, because remember, that's what James 4:7 says, submit to God, submit to love. The more you submit to love, the more you become love. The more it's not so difficult for you anymore to move in love. It actually becomes natural for you. And it's not so painful anymore when someone hurts you or there's one to spitefully use you, and you move in love and you bless them and you're unoffended. Oh my gosh, there's no other place that is as powerful as that. To stand, to sit, actually, I don't even want to say stand. We sit in the presence of our enemies and we're not moved. And he anoints our head with oil, amen, because we're staying in love, we're in agreement with love. So again, that is a process of growing and maturing into who we are, because yes, God is love, but we are children of love. We came from love, and we're awakening more and more into who we are as love, uniquely designed in our own personalities and characteristics and our own manifestation of love on the planet. This is who we are, and this is how you awaken fully into who you are in him, the one called love. So again, think on this, meditate on this, go deeper into this. Your greatest warfare is love. And listen, it's not just about warfare. This is the answer to everything. Love moves you forward. Love awakens you. Love is the answer. It's because God is love. Amen.